What if I told you that a Hampshire chef went from working in British kitchens to owning a 140-year-old French chateau that once saved hundreds of people looking for safety? This is the incredible true story of Dan Preston, the man behind the popular YouTube channel Escape to Rural France. And trust me, his journey is far more remarkable than you might expect. Dan Preston has become a hero in the Chateauverse. Before Dan Preston became a YouTube sensation with over 600,000 subscribers documenting his chateau restoration, before he became known for his infectious enthusiasm and British humor in the French countryside, he was just a professional chef from Hampshire with a dream that seemed impossible. But sometimes, the most extraordinary stories begin with the most ordinary circumstances. Dan Preston's story begins in Hampshire, England, where he built his career as a professional chef. Working in the demanding world of British hospitality, Preston developed the work ethic, attention to detail, and problem-solving skills that would later serve him well in ways he never imagined. Like many chefs, Preston was accustomed to long hours, tight deadlines, and transforming raw ingredients into something beautiful, skills that translate surprisingly well to chateau restoration, though he probably didn't know it at the time. But Preston harbored a dream that extended far beyond the kitchen. He was drawn to the idea of life in rural France, the slower pace, the connection to history, and the opportunity to create something lasting. It's a dream shared by many, but few have the courage to actually pursue it. The turning point came when Preston made the bold decision to leave his established career in Hampshire and take a leap of faith that would change his life forever. In 2021, Preston's French adventure began not as a chateau owner, but as an employee. He secured a position as gardener and groundskeeper at Chateau de Chaumont, working for the popular YouTube channel The Chateau Diaries. This is where Dan Preston transformed into Dan the Gardener, a beloved character who quickly won over audiences with his dedication, humor, and genuine love for the work. Viewers were drawn to his authentic approach to grounds maintenance and his obvious passion for bringing historical properties back to life. Working at Chateau de Chaumont was more than just a job for Preston. It was his masterclass in chateau life. He learned firsthand about the challenges of maintaining historical properties, the intricacies of French bureaucracy, and the incredible amount of work required to preserve these architectural treasures. But perhaps most importantly, he discovered that his chef's instincts for transformation and creation could be applied on a much grander scale. Gardens, grounds, and even buildings could be treated like ingredients, each with their own potential, waiting for the right person to unlock it. His popularity on the Chateau Diaries also gave Preston something invaluable, an audience who appreciated his work and his personality. This would prove crucial for what came next. While working at Chateau de Chaumont, Preston launched his own YouTube channel, Escape to Rural France, documenting his experiences and sharing his growing expertise with viewers who share his passion for French rural life. But Preston had bigger dreams. He didn't just want to work on someone else's chateau. He wanted to own and restore one himself. This seemed like an impossible dream for a former chef turned gardener, but Preston had learned something important during his time in France. Sometimes the most audacious dreams are the most achievable. In 2022, the impossible became reality. Preston purchased Chateau de Chaumont in Mainsat, Creuse, for €60,000. To put this in perspective, that's roughly the cost of a modest car in the UK, but Preston wasn't buying just any property. He was buying a piece of history. The chateau was in ruins, having been abandoned for decades. Most people would have seen a crumbling building and an insurmountable challenge. Preston saw potential, the same way he once looked at raw ingredients and saw a finished dish. What Preston initially didn't know was that he had purchased far more than just a building. He had become the guardian of an incredible piece of history. Chateau de Chaumont had served as a secret refuge in the past. This 140-year-old building had literally saved lives, hiding some of history's most vulnerable victims in plain sight. When Preston learned about this history, his restoration project transformed from a personal dream into a mission of historical preservation. He wasn't just renovating a building. He was honoring the memory of those who found safety within its walls and the brave people who protected them. This discovery added profound meaning to every brick he laid, every window he repaired, and every room he restored. Preston found himself not just as a property owner, but as a custodian of history, responsible for ensuring that this story would never be forgotten. The weight of this responsibility could have been overwhelming, but for Preston, it became a source of inspiration and purpose that drove him to work even harder. Preston's incredible story and his dedication to the restoration caught the attention of major media outlets. His work was featured on Channel 4's hit show, Help! We Bought a Village, bringing his story to an even wider audience. The show documented not just the physical challenges of the restoration, but also the emotional journey of uncovering and honoring the chateau's history. In one particularly moving episode, Preston met with a man whose life had been saved by the very chateau Preston was now restoring. This media attention helped cement Preston's reputation not just as a YouTuber or a property renovator, but as someone genuinely committed to historical preservation and storytelling. His YouTube channel, Escape to Rural France, continues to grow, inspiring thousands of viewers who follow his progress and draw motivation from his journey. Conclusion, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Dan Preston's story is proof that sometimes the most extraordinary lives begin with a simple decision to pursue a dream. From Hampshire chef to YouTube sensation, from employee to chateau owner, from renovator to historical custodian, Preston's journey shows us that it's never too late to completely reinvent your life. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about Dan Preston isn't that he bought a chateau, or even that he's restoring it. It's that he's doing it with such obvious joy, sharing every triumph and setback with an audience who has become invested in his success. In a world where we're often told to be realistic, to play it safe, Dan Preston chose to be audacious. And in doing so, he's not just living his dream, he's inspiring others to believe that their impossible dreams might just be possible after all. That's the real story behind the man from Escape to Rural France. And honestly, it's even better than fiction. The Escape to Rural France channel has been a true movement of people. Everyone is supportive and interested in the progress on the chateau. All of the viewers anxiously await the next episode. It is Dan's vision and strong work ethic that collectively creates the community of people interested in the chateau and its advancement. This movement has grown extensively in the past few years, and it seems that the chateau history has also added to the intrigue of viewers. Thank you for watching my video on Chateau de Chaumont. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more. Check out our other videos about chateau life. If you're interested, also consider becoming a member and receiving a shout out on this channel.